teams running the 1-3-1 probably want to take that away from them.
Well, we'll see how it does develop here as Sin do take up the blue side. Once again, banning away the Vladimir first up, so not forcing that over to the side of Abyss. Giving them some option as far as getting rid of other champions.
One of the other cool things as well is that Sin are on the blue side, so they don't get the last pick, which means red side can last pick for Luch, and Luch having last pick, you'll know if you're against the Zed if you change your bans up to get rid of that Zed ban. And I would still definitely prioritize the Diana over that.
Well, at the moment, Twisted Fate, first one to leave. Definitely a good news story. Azir banned away from Luch as well. Don't give him that late game power. Zed, once again, going to be hitting the bench. Abyss thinking like if you take one portion of the comp away, maybe you can deal with it that way.
Perhaps, perhaps. That means that it's going to be 3 focused bans on the Rymeister. We have to look at what his champion pool will be after that, because it's reasonably accurate of Abyss to assume, given that we've seen him play Zed, Diana, and Twisted Fate as he split pushes and then goes to Orianna.
Well, Abyss now, thinking about what their last ban will be. Do you think Shen makes a lot of sense here, or do you think Diana needs to be removed because of the pocket pick aspect?
Yep, look, here we are.
Well, Ryze pretty good. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, things that were banned last time that are now available are Diana, most definitely. Swain, another option there as well. But Sin are going to prioritize the Victor. Take the comfort away from Luch as best they can. Now Abyss with their opportunity. And look, the Ashe and Rek'Sai are options to take away here from Sin.
Yeah, well, they're options. I don't know if that's what Abyss are as a team. Elise is definitely very savvy. He's also got that Nidalee in his back pocket. Given that their first game didn't go well for them, felt like it was mostly a drafting concern from Abyss, while Sin drafted their style. I think the exact same problem was seen on the opposite side. Abyss just kind of put good champions together. You can see it at the bottom of your screen. They are good champions, but they got run around the map.
They most certainly did. Pac-Man looking for the pick away here. Shen being hovered, 10 seconds to go. Seb going to have to make up his mind as well. Rek'Sai, definitely a consideration.
Should be both of those, yeah. And that's unusual because the top
nice work,
laners,
guys.
They just want to swap.
Yeah, it's all friendship here. And look, taking away 2 of the global aspects that Sin did manage to have, and the last 2 remaining after that Twisted Fate was banned away. So Sin have to definitely alter their place.
gets his option.
Oh, it could be a Swain. Looking at full poke, though, here, as the Varus is going to be locked in. So I wanted to sit back against Rymeister this time.
That is surprisingly good when I think about it, because that screams disengage poke comp to me.
Oh,
You've got a Karma to run away, a Varus who just sits at high range, a Shen to keep people alive, but they've also got the versatility of a split-pushing Shen, an engaging Ashe, and the complementary crowd control and tankiness that comes from Seb and Luch. With Luch's ultimate and Seb's tankiness, that is about as well-rounded as you're going to get for a team composition, besides magic damage, where T-Gun can somewhat compensate.
And it's, yet again, another comp that basically revolves around Luch getting enough poke damage down before anything starts off. So once again, getting a lot of eggs into that Luch basket, and has been ways that Abyss have got themselves to 3 games every single time they've stepped onto Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, so as far as how this has actually started out for Abyss, I think their Game 2 draft is a little bit more cleaned up, whereas Sin have reverted to a Victor as ultimately a denial from Luch.
Yeah.
Which is confusing because it takes that style of 1-3-1 away from them. A lot of presence has been established by Luch on this Rift.
Yeah, and of course Diana was available for Rymeister to pick up, but not to happen this time. But ladies and gentlemen, if, despite the fact that Sin have now switched up that style, you still believe in them, use that hashtag SinWin, get on Twitter, give them your energy. Or if you think that Abyss can tie up the series, get themselves to another possible 3-game situation where they can turn things around, use that hashtag AEWin. Let us know whether they can take this one out, because I'm excited to see whether Sin have actually cleaned up their game enough to play straight up League of Legends without all of this pick, all of this global pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, they said it themselves the best on Twitter before this started. Can the Cinderella story start here? And that consistency is my biggest concern above all else. Whilst we're coming to the second game, you're right. Can Abyss do what Sin did, but can Sin find a consistent strain at all?
Yeah.
Is the bigger question.
And look, like you were mentioning before, no teleport for Rymeister, does have to take the cleanse in order to get out of Chains of Corruption, Shadow Dash, Ash Arrow, everything under the sun. This guy's going to have a potentially rough time as now Raps is going to find Raid.
Not GG.
Yep, there it is.
Going to game 3.
Game over. Oh man, if he had have auto-attacked him again, his theoretical Thunderlords could have gone off. That one knows. There's a decent pick from Abyss on the Rymeister. Hail of Arrows comes in as well, half health. But it's going to clear out vision. Not going to clear out vision.
That was just a bit of damage on the Rymeister. I think that maybe the 5-man aggressive stance was looking towards Pac-Man with a flash taunt if they really wanted to.
Oh, look at
that
Sub-Zero.
skin looks cool now.
Yeah, Sub-Zero is so cool, man. Big fan. Scorpion Shen doesn't look as cool.
Oh.
Not as cool anymore.
Oh, all the new Shens look cooler than the old ones.
I don't know. I'm still a fan of old Surgeon Shen.
Yeah, that one was good.
Just because it was so boring.
Yeah.
It was the best.
It's the epitome of bland.
Yeah, so bland. Throws little scalpels.
What did you think? Releasing a surgeon's skin for somebody? They're just going to be wearing green scrubs. Like, if they're not boring, I'm confused.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic, though. I mean, if you've got a thing that you're going for, may as well go for it. As here is Juves and Squiggle actually looking to really mess with Abyss's day.
That, right?
Actually not going to here, as they actually have a fair bit of early power. As Seb's
Seb got
still able to get the smite. Juves doing a lot of damage, at least pressuring them out of the right side of the jungle as the passive comes in. Seb, oh, nice reset timing from little Krugman.
That was a big movement from Sin, and they got nothing from that. It's actually really unfortunate. Seb's going to get level 2 from his camp. He's going to be a full camp ahead, and he got leashed on that camp essentially by Juves and Squiggle. So now Juves is going to solo clear his jungle, have no health, have to early recall probably after a half clear. Not going to be too content with how this one turned out for him. Not a great start for Sin. An aggressive maneuver didn't pay off.
Well, you can see Luch now in the mid lane doing exactly what he loves best. All of arrows to come down here as well as he throws out the piercing arrow as well. We'll see whether he takes the Blighted Quiver as option number 3 at his next level. Whether he's just going to continue trying to max out that Q as early as possible.
He could look towards it simply because he has the Corrupting Potion. You can couple those together, do a lot more damage when you're hitting people repeatedly.
Yeah. Also means that, you know, you do want to be using that sustain, so getting in range of Rymeister isn't as much of a bad idea.
And it increases your Q&E damage.
Yeah.
It blows up. There you go. Answered your own question.
Yeah. I love Varus. I've always been a big fan. Switch once again, moving forward. Rymeister burning to death just a little bit, but he's not too worried. This wave is going to approach him. He's going to be more than happy. So yeah, Blighted Quiver now done.
Yeah, he's not, like, again, this is meant to be a Null and Void type of lane from Rymeister. Of course, Varus can get a little bit carried away with things if all of the poke connects. But Rymeister, ideally, once he hits the level 7 mark with over 1,000 gold, can just wave clear. You just got to get there without dying. It's the same thing with the Azir matchup that you'll see a lot of the time when Varus is picked. You can outrange them as Varus, you can outpoke them as Varus because you can outrange them. But they've got wave clear.
Yeah.
You're always going to be pushing. Everyone's reasonably content.
Right. Really nice spell shield. It's going to stop him from taking too much damage from that Mantra Q, but Abyss with a lot of control in this lane on the bottom side and a much better start so far for this Abyss lineup. Seb discovered here in the jungle as he just tunnels his way out.
And Sin didn't lane swap. It's almost like they changed their strategy.
Yeah.
Now Abyss are doing better.
Weird, right?
I don't want to like be a detective on this. Just putting 2 and 2 together here.
Well, if you are.
Causation,
good
correlation, you know?
Yeah. We've seen it over and over again from Sin, though. When they do decide to go for these more teamfight-focused comps, they just play things out standard. They don't find the same success. Oh, T-Gun. That was beautiful. Shield on the counter creep. Denies
Juice is up here early.
Looking for Pac-Man.
Not exactly ideal. I don't think Juice has the capabilities of continuing jungling. He actually just wants to push this one out. Because Pac-Man's controlling Squiggle. One would say bodying.
Yeah.
I think.
Is that what they say?
Certain fools have been bodied.
Luch is just like, where did my buff go, Seb? Can you chill? Okay, so blue buff is going to be successfully transferred. Juve's now looking to grab his Gromp on his way in, but yeah, Seb is so far ahead as far as all of these camps are concerned.
And it all started simply because Juves gave him that leash or that push in the right direction, just won the smite war. If Juves got that smite, things could be entirely different.
Yeah. Rap's actually able to get into the face of Raid just a little bit, but as far as mana is concerned, as soon as Raid hits that level 6, we'll be able to answer with the arrow. Raps is going to have that spell shield timing tested.
And one of the better things of this lane as well is T-Gun's mantraed Qs are forcing spell shields occasionally out of the Sivir. But once Ashe is level 6, the mantra Q will always hit, because if Raps wastes that spell shield, guess what, following straight after.
Yeah, not to mention if Raps ever gets hit by the arrow, T-Gun has a lot of follow-up damage, and he can snare Raps as well, possibly force the flash out if he doesn't just outright die.
But at this point, Sin are just trying to actually damage control themselves.
Oh, man, that ebb and flow was beautiful. Love that ability when it works well. Rogue taking a lot of damage. T-Gun's poke has to be respected.
Everything's just really calm on Summoner's Rift, except for the fact that every time we look in a Sin-related lane, they're stuck under their turret.
Oh no, Rogue just gets exploded. First blood comes out as T-Gun locks it up. They set that trap beautifully.
Yeah, they actually feigned recalls. I think they were going to recall until the opportunity presented itself. Raid now hitting that level 6 point. T-Gun also being level 5 with Ignite means that there was an abundance of burst. And once again, Sin, they're just not laning well. Juves is unable to impact the map because he was behind because of what happened at level 1. Their 1 point of power that would have been a Kindred actually getting these lanes ahead just doesn't exist.
And their lanes are also so safe. Of course, T-Gun and Raid, they can just mantra up the E, run away. Absolutely fine. Luch is going to be farming from so far back that it's really hard to get in there. And Juice requires a little bit of space.
Yeah. Still, Sin are reasonably like team fighting based with their composition.
Yep.
They just don't want to get towards at least completed first items. before they really try and do anything silly. Until that point, they just want to damage control. Victor, as we said, still going to be able to do that. The Civi, you would think, is capable of doing that, but...
Oh, Rymeister caught out, does have to flash. Still has the cleanse available, but Abyss, this is them making sure that they can take this blue buff. Juve's in trouble, only level 5. Does get the passive down. Piercing arrow would have done legitimate damage to Juve there, but Abyss are going to be able to grab themselves the blue buff. And now, Squiggle's in a lot of trouble.
And now the spill over into the jungle. Seb finds the CS advantage and pushes that with a Sightstone first item. Oh, Raid's gone.
Oh, really nice bubble as Raid is going to get Chaos Stormed, uses the heal. As Pac-Man doesn't actually head in. The teleport now going to be used.
Wow.
My God, that damage on Rymeister was huge. As Seb finds his way in, just uses his Void Rush. Pac-Man eventually came down as well. It was a really nice pillar from Squiggle to interrupt the ultimate. It unfortunately didn't have another one.
Yeah, so they get the ultimate and the teleport out of Pac-Man, but the end result is that Raid, whilst being dove, the shield was all the Shen really needed to offer for it. Well played from the Ashe. Well coordinated from Abyss across the board. Kicking off game number 2. Exactly how you'd expect from this team.
Yeah, really nicely done. Cloud Drake, unfortunately, not necessarily the most coveted one, but he's going to be taken first up here, as the next one is also going to be a Cloud. Seb looking to steal away a red buff at the same time. Juves is just not having a good time in this jungle.
Nobody on Sin is having a good time right now.
Oh, Squiggle's looking okay.
He's not having a good time. He's watching his team lose.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can see Luch, he's having a good time. There's a big and farm minions. He's just having a good time.
Yeah, and again, the Varus has a lot of lane control. Rymeister left lane once, falls behind upwards of 10 CS, is now getting poked under his turret, which is exactly where you don't want to be if you're the Victor. And the Victor dove bottom lane, looked for the turret kill. Or for the kill under the turret, rather. And just doesn't have enough damage yet. Big mistakes from Sin. This is not game 1 Sin.
No. And it's just not the style that they're confident in. Keep going back to this, but haven't really found it. Gets the cannon creep. Good work, Rymeister.
He's farming. That's one thing that they are doing.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not about farm while we're watching these two play. That's something that they can competently get. It's that Sin snowballed early in their first. They come into the second. They don't do that.
Well, you can see Pac-Man was able to shove that wave into the turret. Almost has his Sunfire Cape completed. That was a very early Barmy Cinder. Good news for the Shen that wants to be able to keep that minion wave off his turret if he can. Squiggle will have a powerful subjugate if he's in a fight with Pac-Man, which is a good news story. A lot of this game will revolve around how well this Trundle does do.
It's funny, because like at this point in the game, we are only 11 minutes in. It's definitely not a lights out point in the game. Still feels like Sin have lost this until further notice. That's just how it feels.
Yeah. And they're just incredibly far behind as far as gold is concerned, probably because of the jungle, yeah. Pillar's going to be used. Juve's not going to bite just yet.
What's important is that the dash is down, which means his escapes are gone. Of course, Flash is there. Juves won't be able to get this gank off unless he moves towards the third bush, maybe.
He's going to get there for
Patient
now.
play.
He needs something to go right for him here, Juves. There's Juice. Shadow Dash comes out. Pillar's there. Actually will get the Wolf's Bite off, and Pac-Man in a lot of trouble, but uses the W at a fantastic time. Then flashes Juves. Flashes after him. Massive damage.
Pac-Man.
As Juves, oh my God, able to pick up the kill in the end.
Rek'Sai's here.
Oh.
This should be an easy kill for him eventually, Seb.
Well,
he doesn't want to waste summoners. He has Flash. If he has to use it, he will.
He's actually, oh, Prey Seeker, he's going to land. Juice will fall down. So Seb picks up the kill. Juice had the ultimate, but of course, he didn't want to use it.
Juice hasn't even finished his jungle item. He just did on death. He is so far behind.
And Seb hasn't been back to base in quite a while. So.
Well, looking at the farm between them and a Sightstone on top of it, yeah. You would imagine there is at least 1,000 gold between these two.
Oh, there's the Stand United. Nice knock up as Squiggle does get the slowdown, dodges the Shadow Dash, which is a very good news story, but doesn't have Subjugate. And look at how tanky these players are. Feint is used, and Pac-Man so comfortable.
Yeah, this second game has been a complete turnaround. Abyss using Pac-Man as their pivot point instead of using Shen as the pivot point towards the bottom or mid lane, have actually found themselves leaps and bounds ahead.
Rymeister. Chaos Storm comes out. Rymeister decides not to cleanse. Because, of course, he doesn't have to. But a lot of damage taken as Luch throws down the Ghost.
He actually could get a kill here, Luch, but there's going to be minions in the way. He flashed.
Oh, got him! Still gets the kill as the arrow flies past. Insurance arrow comes up towards the top lane. Sails past Squiggle, but Luch, man, playing real well. And Juves, what is he doing?
When it rains, it pours, apparently, for the Sin lineup. Squiggle's back.
Yeah, nice pillar comes in, but you can see tagged once again by the piercing arrow. Seb doesn't get the knocker.
They got the slow this time, though.
Yeah, nice dance.
Does the turret matter is the question.
Apparently it does, as Raps is going to fall on the bottom side of the map. Raid now getting fought by Rogue. Another auto attack will have to do it, but the shield comes in from T-Gun. This is a completely different Abyss in game number 2. As we're used to seeing, to be perfectly frank.
This is a disaster. This whole game, look at this, it hasn't finished.
Yeah, the dive comes in, Squiggle does have Subjugate, there's the pillar. As Juves is just dead by Luch off the backside. And Seb happily tanks up the turret.
And Squiggle watches his next to follow.
Yeah, Seb easily eats him with an E. And Abyss all over this game.
Yeah, we will get to see what happened on the bottom side of the map, and to be quite frank with you, Raid has no mana, and so he's just relying on auto attacks, and that's where T-Gun just comes up way too valuable. Honestly, did a lot of the work there. The flash was good from Raid, but again, I have to commend T-Gun in particular for that 2v2. He stepped up massive.
Yeah. And T-Gun, when he's on form, he's a player to be feared as well.
He's an emotional player.
Yeah, and confidence-driven as well.
Currently using, from his own words, an incompetent mouse. I will not go into details on what his mouse is, but you can ask him on Twitter. It's not good.
Yeah, well, you know, a bad craftsman blames his tools.
He's still winning with it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Don't worry about it. Maybe it's good luck in the end. I mean, we've all seen video game high school. It's not about having the top of the line gear.
I feel like you say we've all seen it. We haven't all seen it.
Yes. But you should. It's actually very good. Luch is going to help out. Cloud Drake number 2 going to fall in favor of Abyss. I'll be able to move around this map even more effectively. 30 movement speed, nothing to stop at. Especially now that Swifties don't give you as much. And Infernal Drake will be Dragon number 3. Sin are going to have to dig deep if they want to find something in this game. There is not a lot of good things to talk about, apart from the fact that Squiggle did manage to take a turret. But 6,000 gold in 16 minutes. That is not fun.
Not good at all. Abyss can honestly, they're at a point in the game where the Ashe is strong enough with the items that the Varus is strong enough, even though he hasn't completed his second, they can actually just start grouping.
And this siege power as well out of the Varus is gigantic. Chains of Corruption lands. Rymeister. Yeah.
Oh. Madness.
Yeah, complete madness.
That damage is far too high. Abyss can just rinse and repeat this strategy. Yes, Rogue has sustain on the Nami, but he can't sustain for all of them when the poke from Ashe, Karma, and Varus exist, as well as the pressure they're placing on the objective itself. This gold lead is just starting to be unrelenting.
And just what Abyss have actually put together this time around as well. I mean, Luch, he got put in a position where he does that to you if you're standing anywhere near your turret. Squiggle is forced to go with this sort of split-pushing build where he doesn't have a lot of health to his name just yet.
I think he was always going to go for this build. It's just that because they're behind, it feels a lot less impactful.
Yeah, can't do what he wants to do. Now you got Luch heading back to base. He'll probably have his Ghost Blade here as Manamune is already done. 2-0-1 now for the Varus. And there it is, so Ghost Blade completed. We'll see whether he can get Boots of Lucidity as well, but no, it's just going to be that Vision Ward.
Which is good, because at the 17-minute mark in this game, you can even start setting up now towards the Baron and just take it the second it spawns at 20. That's how big they are in control, like how massively ahead they are. Seb even going the offensive route, similar to what Juves had in game number 1. And Tiamat is a sign of Snowball. And speaking of Snowball, Juves going towards a Zeal is a little bit overconfident. I know he needs to do some kind of damage, but it's just not possible. But he can't even really afford to go for any kind of armor, besides perhaps the boots. A Hex Drink is not going to help him. Like, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they need a wish and a prayer right now. As T-Gun happily tanks up that tower shot. Abyss with pressure everywhere. Seb has Void Rush. He's heading back to base now. We'll see whether he can finish the Titanic Hydra. Whether he decides to grab some boots there. Q going to help Raid just continue pushing waves in. And Seb, he's just in lanes. Constant vision available here for Abyss. And Pac-Man, just like, yeah, I mean, I'm just chilling.
What's up?
Yeah, ready.
He is way stronger than Squiggle.
Just takes a lot of beating as well, as that's a lot of creeps there, but Pac-Man is going to be able to jump onto Juves. He's got the Lance Respite, throws it down at the right time. But you can see they're just too big. Pac-Man able to pick him up as that one falls down. Tanks 2 turret shots like they do nothing, as now piercing arrows are flying in. There's the Shadow Dash as Squiggle flashes out of the way. Arrow sails by, so not going to be helping all that much from the outside. You can see Luch just wanders through.
Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, the exact same thing.
Yeah, T-Gun tanking up the turret for now as Raid gets down a couple of auto attacks. And T-Gun, oh wow. So moves out of the turret just in time. Ash, probably in an unfortunate situation, but between the turrets. Oh, there's the flash bubble. Raid moves the wrong direction as Ebb and Flow is just not enough. There's the Stand United. Raid trying to turn this one around as best he can, but it's just not enough. Pac-Man did arrive, but not in time. The shutdown comes in. Kill going to Rogue, not great news.
Yeah, they get themselves a kill and it's nicely done, but Rymeister,
yeah, just not even going to use the cleanse. Knew that he was dead.
I feel like you can't even talk at the moment before someone from Abyss wants to kill their opponent. Luch is in control. Bottom lane 2v2 is in control. The only saving grace has been Squiggle this game. And even though he teleports, gets himself a kill, the rest of Abyss are able to focus Squiggle and make sure that he's not able to snowball anything. That was a part of the strategy, honestly, that Sin had. Was, you know what? They're going for the Shen. They've taken it from us. Let's pick the Trundle. It does well into it. It'll scale, it'll split push.
Yeah. Can
basically do what Shen does when the teleport is up. But they didn't get to that point at all. Even though 20 minutes into this game, Sin with a base that isn't broken.
Yeah, but they're 8,000 gold behind, Rusty.
Yeah, now too far behind. And we're kind of just waiting to see if Abyss can close this one out confidently and cleanly, or if Sin can work their way back in somehow.
We'll see whether they can. It's going to be very difficult to do so as T-Gun shields himself from that turret shot. Dragon up in 50 seconds. Infernal Drake, one that Abyss definitely want. You can see Pac-Man, he's recalling, making sure he gets his Spirit Visage before they start up any fights. It's behind him, Farm Squiggle. Still ahead.
I guess. It's a small thing, small victory, but Abyss always being pushed now, always pushing, means that Squiggle's going to be the recipient of all of the side lane farm. They don't have Rymeister to send to those side lanes as effectively as they would like anymore. Not running teleport, has to have cleanse. And because of that, Sin don't look like the same team.
No. Putting the priority on the denial Victor pick.
That still gets me a little bit as well. It's like, I understand that Luch is a good Victor, but you beat it in game number 1. And you didn't even pick to win lane against it. You actually beat it through the game, through playing the game.
Yeah, they just nullified how powerful the mid lane would be by just getting picks everywhere and getting ahead that way. And now Abyss, with all of this control, transition it into the third dragon of the game. Infernal Drake, 8% extra flat stats. It's getting better and better as this game goes on. Raid helps grab it, but they've got item spikes upon their item spikes right now.
And hey, it was 2 clouds as well, so yeah. If these passed, I think it was 3 games, people's predictions would have been a lot closer. But I don't know what the people's predictions were. So I basically just assumed we all went 4 clouds.
Yeah. That was definitely my opinion. Raid actually just throws down the ultimate onto Rymeister. Chaos Storm's there. I mean, Raid has to be careful, but he's still going to fall down. It's locked up by Juves, as Seb is going to be able to get the knock up. Seb looking for another.
He's tanky.
Yeah, he's really tanky. So Rogue was looking for another bubble as Luch At least has his piercing arrow avoided. Lots of damage out from Luch, though the auto attacks need to be respected as well. He has the Ghost Blade. Tidal Wave comes in. No. Avoided there by Luch. Seb's going to get bubbled. Happy to tank up the turret.
Yeah, so Luch is a big threat on certain cooldowns. The Q missed. Sivir gave it a couple of hits, and then the Q would be back up available again. And the Spell Shield, you can't use it.
Wow, Chance of Corruption comes in. Juves just gets destroyed. Doesn't have the ultimate available yet. And the inner turret is now going to fall. Just mispositioning.
Every time we see Juves, he's using the ultimate. This isn't even his fault. He's just too far behind. Sure, it might have been his fault a little bit getting this far behind from the level 1. But Abyss are just playing with them now, honestly. It feels like toying with your food. Just eat it.
Yeah, still able to get themselves in the right positions in order to pick up these turrets. And despite having Raid now making his way back to lane, they've got a Varus. They've got a lot of turret damage. Baron could even potentially be looked at here with a
They should.
10,700 gold lead.
Oh, Pac-Man.
Shadow bonk.
Shadow, not dash.
Yeah. Oh, it's Baron. Currently being taken. Arrow just flew forward.
Looking for the Trundle.
Didn't find him.
And Sin, they want to defend the Baron at the very least. If you're thinking about the ways that can close out this game, Baron's a hot contender for that.
Well, there's the Chaos Storm. Luch actually moving very quickly with that Ghost. No, he doesn't actually use it.
Karma Shield.
Yeah, Karma Shield came in. Sped him up. Lots of different abilities.
Yeah, and Sin, they show some defiance. They were looking to defend the Baron. And then they were running away from Abyss as Abyss were like, well, we won't fight the Baron, we'll fight you. Doesn't really matter at this point. They'll fight everything.
Yeah. And Luch, of course, more than happy just to be picking up farm. It's Pac-Man. Gonna skirt the gravity field.
There's no mana on Rymeister. He is in trouble.
Yeah. That is very dead as Seb is able to pick that one up. And Pac-Man going to continue on his merry split.
And it's the same thing. The life and death, essentially, of Rymeister is going to be in these side lanes. He can't split push this game. He will die to the Shen 1v1, let alone a second threat from a Rek'Sai, who can use her ultimate to actually cover distance. Back towards objectives, and now Abyss.
Oh, Rogue has to flash the arrow. Raid happy to trade that one, especially with the Essence Reaver.
They should get the bottom turret if they're looking to be safe. If they man up, they could definitely get more. We'll see how much they man up.
Oh, wow, that is a banner of command there. Half of the health of Rogue. Does have him flow himself back to decent health. There's the Tidal Wave across quite a few members. The Chains of Corruption were cleansed. Sin holding on for now. Oh my god, these arrows!
He hurts a lot.
Luch is so big. As even the volley is poking them out quite nicely here as well from Raid. Rymeister.
Seeker to an extent. I think it's an AP Rek'Sai, but he's just feathers. Here we go.
Yeah, the tower is going to fall down. Chaos Storm onto 2 priority targets here as Luch off to the side. Rymeister in trouble though as the tanky members of Abyss standing on top, but Seb falls down. That's a shutdown coming in. A big deal actually. As Lamb's Respite was helping out.
They want the inhibitor. Sin are looking. I don't know if they'll find anything here unless they chase them out of their own base.
Oh, hard to chase this Varus.
You can't chase the Varus. It's very easy disengage, honestly, from Abyss right now. They can walk it out. Rinse and repeat. They have to clear top lane first at the very least, so that'll slow them down by a bit. Then look towards the Baron, probably as the biggest nail in the coffin that you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
As if it were necessary ultimately, but they're a poke composition. So to break the base requires a hint of brute force that their comp isn't designed to do. So the Baron would make life tenfold easier than it otherwise would be.
Well, Rymeister will be able to get himself a blue buff. As far as good news is concerned, that is about all we can find on the map at this stage. It's 11,000 gold the lead for Abyss. Definitely a Game 2 powerhouse.
Yeah.
As Infinity Edge is now done for Raid. This Ashe is a really, really scary part of Abyss right now, especially when it's a pickaxe in comparison to that Infinity Edge.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference between these AD carries right now. I think it's safe to say. Rap's having to go for wave clear as well on that Sivir. It's not even worth comparing those two in items. The middle lane as well. It's like you look at Ramize's build and it feels so bare in comparison to what Lucha's put together. They have all of the tools that they need. We're kind of just hanging out now.
Yeah. Still able to push up the mid lane.
Let me tell you, if Sin win this game, they deserve
maybe
any kind of medal.
Maybe 2 points. Maybe you get 2 points if you come back from this.
I will continue to tip for Sin if they win this one. They've broken my heart too many times.
Well, this Baron buff now going down. Scrying all comes in, but Abyss not perturbed. Another one, as the tidal wave does actually launch itself through. Seb doesn't want to leave this Baron. He's putting in a lot of work.
We forced them off. Oh, that arrow went backwards. No one saw anything.
The piercing arrow not going to find anyone either. As Ray just says, nope, 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 nope. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
What a disaster. Oh. Oh, good. We get to see it again.
Oh, God.
I was worried we weren't going to see this one. And so
Nice.
for those of you wondering at home, that's not the direction of the enemy team.
And also, do you know why I did that? That is called minimap, ladies and gentlemen. The unfortunate placement of the minimap.
Ah, yes. Those who play minimaps
I hate the
haven't
minimap.
scrolled their mouse well enough.
I just would have removed the minimap if it was me. I don't use it anyway, Rusty.
I, for one, like moving my screen before throwing arrows that go backwards. To each their own, Atlas.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes it's a shoot and hope. But he didn't hope hard enough.
Also sometimes use my minimap to actually throw an arrow
Oh, yeah.
if I'm in base.
Yeah, that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Doesn't exactly give you pinpoint
Never
accuracy.
hits.
No.
But it's worth it if you have like 1 second to throw it.
I also feel like if you're playing Ashe, you should throw an arrow every single time it's off cooldown. Just
Why would you do that?
Because it's global, you know? What if, like, you miss every arrow you don't throw. So if you throw the maximum amount of arrows possible, you're hitting the maximum amount of arrows possible.
Okay, but now you're banking on hit rate,
Yeah.
right?
Well, no, you're not really. You're sort of throwing hit rate out the window and saying, I still want to hit about 3 this game, but I don't want to throw 3. I want to throw 700. Based on whether or not it's going to be a 90-minute game or not.
Value, right? Value.
Yeah.
Think about it. You miss every 3-pointer you don't take in basketball, but why would you not slam dunk if you could, or lay it up when you're next to the bucket and the probability of getting it is high?
My coach did used to run that one quite a lot. Not that I could slam dunk.
Like a Hail Mary,
Yeah.
right? We can keep going.
The reason we're talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that Squiggle and Pac-Man are fighting each other, and Squiggle is very optimistically doing so.
They are
Now has
pushing
the
top.
subjugate.
At least.
Yeah.
Like Abyss are working towards the second inhibitor. This should be taken.
Yeah, fell down very, very quickly. Another banner of command is there. They just gave up on the Baron. They just want to take the base. They're like, well, maybe we need 2 inhibitors in order to secure that Baron. At least the extra inhibitor turret's going to be good news. As Juve's off to the side. Oh, Luch's just going to kill Rogue. He may have had full health there. As the arrow, again, going to sail by, but went in the right direction that time.
I feel like at this point, Abyss can look towards ending the game in front of Sin's face.
Oh, God.
I do hope they do that.
Oh, piercing arrows are doing so much damage.
Here we go.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Chains of Corruption land onto Raps. As there's the gravity field. Decent placement as the Chaos Storm onto 4 members. That is very good, but it's just not doing enough damage. Juve's now trying to dance near his... Oh my god, okay, Luch's just going to kill him. Lamb's Respite not going to be available at all as this inhibitor respawns and immediately dies. And Luch, it doesn't matter that he's on low health because they can't close the distance.
Yeah, he still has Flash available, and that was a glorified power play for the second inhibitor, but they do still have 2 inhibitors. We're out of Drakes that they can take that are non-influential as well, so they must get an Elder sooner or later.
Yep.
And this is the slowest closeout of a monumental lead that I have ever witnessed.
It is taking some time, Rusty.
Because they are a poke composition that aren't diving turrets.
This is a team that's 1-2, and they played the maximum amount. They played 9 games, all right? They've had long series. This is a team that wants to revel in their victory. You know, Abyss really want to bring it home textbook. And they are slowly winning the game. I mean, you don't get extra points based on time. So,
You actually... Well, never mind.
well, Arrow's going to land onto Rogue here. Chains of Corruption come down as well as Juve's taking a lot of damage in his
Juve's is
ultimate.
now
They
caught.
just wait it out. There's the Stand United. Abyss really want to start this one off as Juve's... Oh, Piercing Arrow not going to find him. He's burning to death. Preyseeker would have secured it, but it's not going to happen. There's Squiggle now moving forward. Raps takes 1 billion damage.
Yeah, every time the arrow is available, somebody almost dies. Rinse and repeat.
Which arrow are you talking about? Oh, yes, the Varus arrow.
And so the Baron, once again, is being looked at, if nothing else, by Abyss. They've got Luch zoning, 1v5, potentially might be able to get some kills on their way in, Sin.
Yeah, half the health of the Baron. Are they going to commit on it is the question. As yeah, it's gone down so relatively quickly. Luch able to zone relatively effectively as the Chaos Storm going to soar past, but not going to find anything. Flash from Luch gets him out of the gravity field. As Pac-Man doing a bunch of work. That is already the 80 carry down as Juves. An afterthought as he falls. Pac-Man doesn't find the Shadow Dash, but I have a feeling things are going to be okay. T-Gun flashes and interestingly throws a Q. However, Rymeister uses the Zhonya's Hourglass just to slow down his inevitable fate, which is death by Luch,
And
who's now
minions are winning
dominating.
the game.
Arrow gonna get flashed out of. Nice bubble. Saves Rogue for now. Doesn't have a lot of mana. No flash for Raid.
Pac-Man's got it. You all calm down.
Yeah. And look at his, like, bevy of massive minions helping him out. Squiggle, Subjugate helping him, but Pac-Man has one thing on his mind. Raid gonna help him, and the Nexus falls down. We're going to game 3. And Abyss, once again, gonna play this out the maximum games possible.
That was the longest victory from a lead of that proportions that
Yeah,
I've
and it
seen
looked like
in
a lead
while.
like that at about 8 minutes in as
Yeah.
well, Rusty. We were sort of waiting for it for quite some time, and Abyss eventually did manage to come through.
It was like a Delta Goodrum song playing in the background or something throughout that game. They were really struggling to close. It was, Abyss
Delta
still
Goodrum
looked.
song?
Yes, you don't meant to look.
Yeah, no, I get it. You just go continue.
No, I lost it.
Abyss.
I lost it. I don't know.
All right, it's done.
They looked
But
good.
They did.
There you go. Yep.
And they were able
The
to
analyst
take.
ready yet?
They took what Sin did in game number 1, a large portion of it, without the Twisted Fate, and made it look fantastic in game number 2. But let's throw it back to the analyst test to break down that game.
Thank you so much, Atlas, and I can't believe I get this, but Zach, you calm down. You're a little bit overstimulated there, mate. You need to just have a little bit of a breather. And Abyss take it back to 1-1. And that was a pretty long, drawn-out 33-minute victory, but it never looked like it was really in doubt from the Abyss lineup.
No, not at all. I mean, I think Abyss were trying to break the record for holding like a 12k gold lead for as long as possible, and I think they successfully did that.
Yeah, big issue is the fact that I think Abyss thought that they only had a poke composition,
Yeah.
and they actually had a lot more tools than that. Like, I understand, yes, there's a Varus, Luch is doing massive damage with those arrows, and technically, you do have Karma and Ashe, so you have poke elements on your comp, but you also have Shin and Karma and Ashe, and at some point when you have 12k, throw the arrow,
Yeah, and
Shin ult the Rek'Sai, and
it's-
speed him up in there.
Yeah, and it's not like the Varus is lacking engage either, right? Yeah, I mean, you have the Chains of Corruption from there. Just hit someone that isn't the Cleanse Victor, and then you win the game.
Or hit that guy anyway, burst his cleanse, then
That's
pop
the
him in the face
one.
with an arrow.
That's the one.
All right, cool. So moving away from execution, let's talk about the part of the game that Abyss did play well, because I feel like the laning phase, way we pretty much broke it down is, they had some weaker matchups, but then every single lane just simultaneously won across the board.
Yeah, so I think you just had like the complete collapse of Sin just across the board.
Yep.
I mean, the only thing that in the laning phase that kind of looked like semi-decent for Sin was when they were able to kill Pac-Man in the top lane, and then
Overextended for it.
overextended, and then just turned it with the Shen ult eventually in the end, and just wiped the floor with him there. At the same time, died bot lane.
Yep.
It was just all over, really, from the laning phase.
And I actually want to talk about that because there was multiple times during this game where, top lane was diving, and then you check the cross map, and they're still losing the 2v2, or they're losing a 1v2 in a cross map situation. Sin looked like they were a little bit frazzled, and for the experienced team, you don't really expect that.
And you have to think what the questioning is when you have a Sivir Nami versus an Ashe Karma to lose on the other side. Like, you have the sustain, you have Sivir, you can actually just whittle them down slowly, keep them, not necessarily push in, because Ashe still has great wave control with her volley, but to just toe-to-toe against Ashe and Karma alone, like, T-Gun was playing that lane so well, did so much ridiculous amounts of damage, there's no reason why Sin's bot lane says, yes, let's pull the trigger on this. We have the sustain, let's go in.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And you were talking about the bot lane, I just want to touch on the top lane, because the day that I see Shen out-split push a Trundle is the day that the game is over, right? That's it. That's just, it's over from there. Your bot lane loses, your Trundle loses in the 1v1 against Shen, and then what can you realistically do to come back from that? Nothing.
All right, cool. So that's what I actually want to go to. I actually want to pull the draft up onto the screen and remind everyone what was picked here. So as you can see, it was Victor, into Kindred Trundle, and then Sivir, Nami taken in the last round rotation. On the other side, it was Rek'Sai Shen into not Aurelia. That is not Aurelia.
That is Ashe.
That is Ashe, Carver, and Varus. So I know you
close.
had huge problems with this
I
draft,
was-
Rosk, apart from the Aurelia, which we'll get, ignore.
I was so tilted, actually. I literally said that the Abyss second rotation should be Ashe Rek'Sai to take it away from Sin, and to more importantly make sure that they couldn't run a double teleport, because then you have the cleanse that needs to be taken. So again, if Sin are known as this 1-3-1-10 team, make sure that they don't have double TP to start, which is why Ashe was important. Instead, the Shin doesn't get banned. Shin goes through, obviously, okay, Shin Rek'Sai, you still got a semi-global composition, so you can at least keep up with the teleport.
Yep.
And then the second rotation from Sin is Kindred Trundle. Like, they already have their top laner and they already have their jungle. So by picking this, yes, you're technically hiding your hand, but the problem is that then you get a weaker bottom lane by doing that. Like, by giving yourselves technically the counter matchup in the bot lane because you had to priority pick Victor away from Luch, like, you just straight up lose. Like, this draft from Sin and the order it was done in was not good.
Yeah, a lot of questions actually.
All right, cool. So lots of questions, not many answers. But one thing is for sure, we're going to Game 3 between Sin and Abyss. So don't go anywhere, guys. 3.5 minutes. We'll be back with more League of Legends action.